Hello and welcome to the video series on the Tour of Go exercise walkthroughs. Today's video covers the 7th exercise, readers, from the Methods and Interfaces module inside of the Methods and Interfaces chapter. Rather than just showing you my solution directly, I will explain all the necessary Golang concepts and context for you to import with a deep understanding of what each and every single line of code really means. Implement a reader type that emits an infinite stream of the ASCII character A. To make sense of this question, let's also have a look at the starter code. There's a custom type, myReader, defined as an empty struct. We'll make this type conform to the reader interface by implementing the read method as suggested by the to-do comment. The comment already tells us exactly the type of the method we'll be implementing, but let's have a quick peek at the documentation of io.Reader. Indeed, we see an interface with a single method read, taking in a byte slice and returning an integer and an error. The idea when implementing read is to populate the byte slice with some source data, which is usually type dependent. After writing into the slice, the method should return the number of bytes read and any error if encountered. In our case, we don't use any data from the myReader type and simply write the character A into each position of the slice. The main function tests our implementation by calling reader.validate with an initialized value of myReader. And that reader package is implemented up top. And let's have a look at its documentation. As we've seen in previous exercises, this is also a custom package created by the authors of the Tour of Go in order to test our code. It has a single public function validate, which takes in an io.Reader as an argument. If we really wanted to dig into how our implementation is tested with all of the different test cases, we could check out the source files. Given that myReader is not yet an io.Reader, we should see an error when we run the program. Basically, we cannot pass in myReader because it does not yet implement io.Reader, missing method read. Let's then give our myReader a read method as suggested by the comment as well. The idea for this implementation is to iterate through each position in the provided byte slice and set the letter A at that position. So we'll go for I, start out at 0. I is less than the length of B. We'll say I++. And we set the letter A at position I in the byte slice. And then finally, we return the number of bytes that we've read, which is the length of the slice, then B, and no error. Let's run this, and the test passed. We can even simplify this code slightly by using a for range loop. So let's just say I is equal to range of B. Ranging over a slice in this manner provides two values. First, the index, and second, a copy of the value at that index. However, since we need to manipulate the actual source byte slice, we can't use the copy of the value, and we'll use the index to index directly into the slice. Now, in summary, we've made myReader conform to the io.Reader interface by implementing the read method. Again, this interface implementation is completely implicit in Go, and we did not even import the io package. Now, there's one final idea I'd like to touch on. Why are we able to write the character A into a byte? What is even a byte? It's a type alias for a uint8, which represents an 8-bit unsigned integer. That means it can hold decimal values from 0 to 255. For example, we could write the number 42 or maybe 65 in place of the character. So let's write 65. Still compiles, runs, and passes the tests. 65 is of course a deliberate choice, as it's the ASCII representation of the capital letter A. There's a lot more I could say about character representation in Go. However, it's a bit of a rabbit hole and deserves a video on its own. Though I'll link an interesting article by Rob Pike if you're interested to learn more about the ins and outs of Unicode, UTF-8, runes, and so forth. And that's it for this little readers exercise. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this walkthrough. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.